The current WTA player Eala is now being compared to as she exits the Qatar Open. Eala's Qatar Open campaign has come to an end at the first hurdle. When Eala saved 3 consecutive set points in the first set tiebreak, it seemed Eala was about to produce another miracle after her stunning comeback victory in Abu Dhabi. However, she eventually lost the tiebreak 8-6 and faded thereafter, eventually losing the match 7-6. It was a disappointing loss for Eala, who faced a player 2 years her junior. However, the Filipina can take pride in the fight she showed once again, and she will now turn her attention to her next WTA Tour event, which is yet to be confirmed. Ahead of the contest, Eala was compared to a current WTA star, a player who has previously made a Grand Slam final. Eala is compared to Leylah Fernandez. While Eala and Valentova were warming up on Monday, Tina Krizan discussed the Filipina's game and her potential stardom while commentating for Sky Sports. Krizan, the former world number 19, said, "A lefty, good serve, good ground strokes, moves well. Reminds me a little bit of Leylah Fernandez pictured below, but she has got slightly heavier shots from a baseline. 6-1, certainly a lot of potential already, even to make it higher than she already is. Ranked 40 in Eala and Valentova both made a big jump in the last couple of years actually. 2 years ago, Eala was around 160 in the rankings, so a big jump for her, especially after Miami when she beat Swiatek. I mean, that's a big win at the highest level when you're able to do that, and she managed to do that really well. She's had a decent season this year. Semi-final in Auckland and quarter-final in Abu Dhabi last week. After her performance in Abu Dhabi, Eala became the first Filipina in history to break into the WTA Top 40. Who would bet against Eala continuing her rise up the rankings throughout 2026? The Filipina has the ground strokes of a top 20 player and has consistently demonstrated the fight needed to take her game to the very top. E-World, Eala's serve continues to be a weakness. Eala's serve is far from a strength, and on Monday, this weakness came to the fore once again. Eala faced 7 breakpoints on her own serve, with Valentova converting on 4 occasions. She also won only 56% of her first serve points and 47% of all points on her second serve. While Valentova won a lower percentage of second serve points, 44%, she was dominant on her first serve, hitting 4 aces and winning 75% of those points. If Eala is to become a true star of the sport, she must find a way of improving the speed and power of her serve. As things currently lie, Eala has to put in so much effort on her ground strokes to win points, sapping her energy and offering her opponent opportunities to capitalize. With a more powerful serve, Eala would win more cheap points, giving herself more breathing room during her service games, ultimately improving the efficiency of her overall game. Eala at the crossroads, the rise, the exit, and the comparisons that follow. The sun was setting over Doha, painting the courts gold, when Eala's Qatar Open journey came to an unexpected end. On paper, her first-round loss to Teresa Valentova, a 7-6-6, 6-1 defeat, might look like just another result in the brutal rhythm of the WTA Tour. But in the swirling context of her burgeoning career, this moment felt different. Not a setback, but a turning point. At just 20 years old, the Filipina star has already rewritten what it means to be a tennis player from her nation. She has climbed to a career-high world number 40, a feat that once seemed distant, and has energized fans across continents with her fearless game and infectious spirit. Yet, in the hours after her exit from the Qatar Open, headlines honed in less on the scoreline and more on what Eala represents. Across social media and news outlets alike, she began being compared to one of the most talked-about young players of recent years, Leylah Fernandez. This isn't just another tennis parallel. Fernandez, the Canadian phenom who shocked the sport with her run to the 2021 U.S. Open final, embodies a narrative that resonates deeply, a young talent breaking barriers, defying expectations, and carrying the hopes of an entire community. Now, observers see echoes of that story in Eala's rise. Why the comparison to Leylah Fernandez? The similarities extend beyond age or rankings. Like Fernandez, Eala's journey has been punctuated by breakthrough performances that electrified the tennis world. Fernandez became a household name with her fearless play on the biggest stages, stunning giants, and inspiring fans globally. Eala, too, announced herself through unforgettable wins and historic moments, including her unforgettable run to a major semifinal at the Miami Open and her ascent into the WTA's top 40. Both players carry more than just rackets, they carry stories. Fernandez's battles were dramatic, heartfelt arenas of grit and heart. Eala's story, rooted in her pioneering ascent for Filipino tennis, taps into something equally powerful: the pride of a nation and the dreams of young athletes everywhere. That combination makes comparisons almost inevitable. But such parallels, while flattering, also carry weight. Fernandez's rise was followed by expectations she battled to meet consistently, a reminder that the journey of a rising star is rarely linear. In a similar vein, Eala's defeat in Doha could easily be framed as a wake-up call, but to do that would miss the larger story of progress she's living. More than a loss, a step in growth. If one sees only the scoreboard, the loss to Valentova might look like a stumble. Yet for a player still consolidating her position among the world's best, there is richness in learning from every match. Eala's opening set in Doha was fiercely contested, barely slipping away in a tiebreak, proof that she can hang with a rising crop of tour talent. And make no mistake, Eala is among that crop. Her Middle East swing before Doha included a quarterfinal run at the prestigious Abu Dhabi Open and a spirited campaign at the ASB Classic. These performances didn't just boost her ranking. They solidified her identity as a competitor who refuses to be overshadowed. Still, comparisons to Fernandez aren't just about results. They're about impact, how a player captures attention, inspires, and transcends expectations. And in that sense, Eala already feels like someone bigger than any single match. A spotlight beyond scores. One of the subtler tests of Eala's rising profile is how others react to her journey. Recently, she drew discussion for her thoughtful take on a moment starring fellow WTA player Coco Gauff, showing not just athletic maturity, but emotional insight. Her presence also ignites fan passion. Reports from recent tournaments recall crowd energy that rivals what major names generate. A hint that Eala's influence isn't just on the scoreboard, but in the culture of the sport itself. These are the moments that feed comparisons to players like Fernandez, athletes who don't just win points, but stir emotion and imagination in fans. Looking ahead, beyond comparisons. So, while the Doha result might make headlines for what it was, Eala's story is defined more by what it is becoming.